Young Bucks, Sold Goats. I'm the GOAT. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. Cheers. A little bit late, but I wanted to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. Really wanted to do this show about a week, 5 days ago on Sunday when Father's Day was, but a couple things happened, which I'll tell you about one of them in a little bit. So I'm late, but anyways, happy Father's Day to all the great dads out there. Hope everybody had a nice Father's Day. I know I did. My dad came over. I had a couple signs of aging, not on my dad, but on me that I noticed that I'll tell you about in a second. But he came over. We did like some yard work out here, which is kind of like how me and my dad have always bonded is through working. I worked with him when I was young, and so like the more we do outdoor stuff like hunting or working, the more we bond. And first sign of aging, I'm starting to enjoy yard work for whatever reason. I don't know what that says about me, but weird. I remember having a neighbor, older guy, and just seeing him outside for hours on end, and I'm like, that's so damn boring. But I guess there's something satisfying about doing a little yard work. Some old Wajito gene kicking in on me. So that was one sign. The other sign is my son got a really cool Mongoose BMX bike for his birthday. That was a few days before Father's Day, and I decided to show him how I popped a wheelie. I wish I had footage to show you of that. It didn't end well. I got it up pretty good, so to speak. But on the landing, the tire turned, went down. I flew over those handlebars. My face, side of the leg, elbow, hand was my brakes. So, anyways, the reason I didn't do the show that day is I had a great day, played with the kids and everything all day after that. At night, when I'm getting ready to do the show, somehow my cat escaped from the house, which has always been an indoor cat, and one of my damn dogs killed the cat. Yeah. Man, I even wanted to get rid of my dog. I started reading about it. The dogs, in general, we can't assign them human qualities like, empathy and all this stuff. It's just some kind of instinct thing that kicks in, especially if an animal runs away from them, the chase. So the dog's never shown any human aggression towards anyone. He'd be gone. She'd be gone if she did. But that happened, and I was like, ugh, it was a downer. We didn't really want to do it. Anyways, brighter news. But anyways, that's what dogs do, It doesn't mean that the dog is bad. That's just something that dogs do. Dogs chase cats, That's what happens. But happy that baseball's back. 60 games. They're going to report July 1st. Start on July 24th or July 25th. Some of the rules, they're going to have the DH for everybody. I get it. Less games. I hope that's not the norm. I'd like to see pitchers hitting. I wish pitchers would take more pride in hitting and get a little bit better at it. But I understand. Another rule that I hope is not there to stay is if they go extra innings, automatically there'll be a runner on second base, which will be the last guy, the guy previous to the guy who's leading off the inning, just to kind of move things along. Pitchers will get to have a wet rag in lieu of licking their fingers, which is weird, but I get it too. No spitting. I don't know how you're going to enforce that. No exchange of the lineup card. And showers are discouraged but not prohibited. And the baseball will be thrown out when two or more people touch it, which, I don't know, that's weird. That's every play. The pitcher and the catcher touch it every play. I guess they mean more than just those two guys. Anyways, I'm glad it's back. It's wide open. Anybody can do it. So today's show, really, it's going to be a quickie. I want to lighten things up. There's so many things going on in the world today, nowadays, with COVID and racial things and a lot of other things that I don't want to get into here because this is supposed to be an escape for me, and it's mostly for me, and more fun. So I'm going to make fun of people, which is pretty much something that I learned when I was young, growing up in the parks. And the Hialeah Park system, that's what it was all about. Nicknames and making fun of people. And there's a lot to be said in a name. And I do want to do like some best names, worst franchise names, best franchise names. But today, I want to play the name game, and I really want to focus mostly on the worst names, because it's funner, right? The worst names, it's going to be funner than the best names. There are some good sports names out there. If you have any suggestions on best franchise names, worst franchise names, worst player names, maybe I missed some when you hear my list, best names, let me know in the comments. I always read them and try to incorporate them. So I'm sure you've been watching sports and you're like, what the hell is that guy's name? Or damn, that's a good name. Even in movies, we have good and bad names. So we're going to do the best and worst. This is in no particular order. Again, focusing on the worst name. Worst name in sports. No order. Number 1, I got Fair Hooker. Now, Hooker is bad enough. But when your parents add Fair, fuck, Dad. Come on. My last name's already Hooker. Fair Hooker. So, lady of the night, but I'm pretty good. I don't overcharge. I get the job done. Come on. This dude was a wide receiver from 69 to 74 for the Browns. If he would have hung around for a few more years at wide receiver, we would have seen an epic showdown with Lester the Molester Hayes, and cornerback for the Raiders, of course. I drop him in as an honorable mention, but mainly it's his nickname that's unfortunate, not necessarily his real name. So, number 1, Fair Hooker. Number 2, I know I said we're going to do like all major sports, but this name's too good to pass up. And NASCAR's kind of been in the news for good and bad reasons recently, so here's the one NASCAR entry. Dick Trickle of NASCAR. Now, Dick in general has fallen out of favor. You don't get too many Dicks nowadays. Not that many guys named... I guess you get some Richards, but it's just not that common. And, I mean, if I was Richard, I wouldn't go. I don't think I'd go by Dick. Maybe I would. It'd be funny. But you don't get it that much. But this guy has the perfect combo, first and last name. Dick Trickle. Now, what I love about Dick Trickle, or let me rephrase that. What I like about this guy is that when you look at him up, in a lot of the pictures, he's smoking a cigarette, or, sometimes right next to the car, or maybe some type of fuel. And even during the races, you can see him smoking in his car. He actually had a lighter installed into his car.
Dick Trickle, who is having a cigarette. He has a cigarette lighter in the car. He just reached for it.
Reminds us of the days of Davy Pearson. He used to do that all the time.
Bad habits are very hard to break, even when you're driving a race car. So Ricky Rudd, also Bobby Hillin, Rusty Wall.
Real character. Smoking in the car? Come on, clean it up, Dick. 48-year-old rookie. Real interesting character. I'm going to show you a couple pictures. Hopefully I already did by the time I got to this part of the video. Tremendous character. Let's see. What am I drinking today? I'm drinking something called Eagle Rare, which is Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey from... These are the same people who make Buffalo Trace, who I love Buffalo Trace. Pretty good. So I'm going to stick with Dick's here for a moment. Dick Pole. Dick Pole of the Boston Red Sox. And yes, most Red Sox are Dicks. And when I think of Dick Pole for the Red Sox, I think of the pesky pole out in Fenway Park. And I wonder, one has to wonder, right? Did Dick Pole ever give up a home run near or around the pesky pole? Dick Pole taken deep to the pesky pole? I researched a little bit. I didn't look at video footage, but he did give up 29 homers at the Red Sox. He gave one up to Roy Smalley. So you never know. Maybe he did give one up to the pesky pole. All right. enough dicks. Moving on. And what better segue from dicks to our number 4 name here, and let's slide right into it. Rusty Kuntz. Now, when you look at the name, everybody wants to pronounce it a different way. That's why he's on the list. Rusty Kuntz. But, it's still funny. World champion in 1984 with the Tigers. 2015 as a coach with the Royals, Kansas City Royals. And he's also part of some of the best images in Major League Baseball, which I'm going to probably show you those here during the video. He's the first base coach. They had a guy named, last name Getz, and then it was whoever was on base, Getz, Kuntz. So, as you can see, Konerko, Getz, Kuntz, so-and-so, Getz, Kuntz, which are pretty damn funny, and I'll show you a few of the variations that you can get there with whoever's on base, and if they're lined up just properly. So, number 5, moving on. Again, no particular order. And, this could have just been all dick jokes. I do got to throw in a couple honorable mentions before I move on. We had Dick Shiner, Dick Lecoq, Dick Felt, and Dick Paradise. And also Chubby Cox. Had to get those in there. All right, number 5. This guy didn't really make it to the majors. Steve Schartz. Steve Schartz. Unfortunately, he never made it to the big leagues. I'm not going to shit on him for that. But I am going to call him up to the big league for these unforgettable name list. I don't know if this dude shat himself uncontrollably under pressure situations, which led him not getting to the big leagues. But his career minor league record was not bad. He lasted 6 years, and he was 31-23. So here's to you, Steve Schartz. Number 6, we're going to stick to the posterior here, and I got a couple of honorable mentions. Fabian Assman, Dean Windass. I'm not making these up. Look them up. These are real players. But the guy I'm going to go with is, and I'm probably, I don't know if this is how you pronounce his name, but his name is Faraj Fartass. And if you were to encompass Faraj Fartass in one image, it's this one. I mean, come on. Your name is Fartass, and this happens to you apparently a few times. It's happened to, because there was multiple pictures. You can't make this up. Again, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Fartass. There are some funny positions in rugby, which would have made this even more hilarious, like the hooker, the scrum half, the fullback, tight head prop, loose head prop, which I have no idea what that is. But he played center. Now, as I take a sip, number 7, I don't want anyone to say I didn't include women, so I want to give a couple of honorable mentions to women here. Basketball player Dawana Boner. And I have here Ivana Mandic. And of course, I can't leave out Misty Hyman. Which leads me to my next guy here. Old-timey baseball player, Urban Shocker. Now, if this list were ranked, he may be number 1. This guy was a Yankee, a Cardinal from 1916 to 1928. And if you look up in Baseball Reference, some of the old box scores from some of these old games, there's a lot of kooky old names, which are just hilarious. And when Urban was coming to your town, he was liable to shock you. This guy was pretty damn good. 187 and 117 with a 3.17 ERA. Part of the 1927 World Series Yankee teams. That's Murderers Row. Many people consider that to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, baseball team of all time. You had prime Lou Gehrig, prime Babe Ruth. The legend of Urban Shocker, it gets even better, because what was Urban Shocker's go-to pitch? You guessed it, the spitball. What the fuck? This writes itself. It was legal, too. He was the last pitcher to use a legal spitball. So here's to you, Urban Shocker. Number 8, we're moving right along. We're almost done here. Ben Gay. He was Benjamin Gay, but I remember having this guy's football cards when I was collecting cards back in the day, and it was written as Ben Gay on a lot of the cards. I mean, this guy's, first of all, his parents hated him because Ben Gay's been around forever. I don't know how anybody didn't think, oh, man, guy's last name is already, they're already going to give him shit for his last name. Let's not name him Ben. So, and his friends, they must have burnt him. And he did burn one team for his lone NFL touchdown as a Brown. Before I go on to number 9, we do have an honorable mention in table tennis here. Wang Licken. Also says here he was a pretty good ball handler. Wang Licken. All right, number 9, offensive tackle Guy Whymper. Giant, Steeler, Jaguar. Now, if I'm a quarterback, I do not want some dude named Guy Whymper protecting me. I'm sorry. And this guy actually had the same number of touchdowns as Ben Gay, 1 on a tackle eligible play, leaving the defense whimpering for a change. Guy Whymper. Okay, and last but not least, I got number 10, heavyweight boxer Jumbo Cummings. This guy's known, other than for his hilarious name, known as the last opponent of Joe Frazier. He did 12 years in prison for murder. Also lost to Frank Bruno. He was 15-6. Jumbo Cummings did a second stint in jail for 13 years. And, dude, if you're a former boxer, former heavyweight boxer, so that, sometimes you see, like, smaller weight divisions and, somebody could make a mistake trying one of those guys on the street. There's no mistake in a heavyweight boxer when you see him on the street. So you're in jail, former boxer, former heavyweight boxer, your name's Jumbo Cummings. I bet nobody was messing with this dude in jail at all. He had no problems with that. I had to leave some people out. The list was 10, but I got to throw in a couple of honorable mentions here. So when you guys put in the list who I left out, I got to throw these honorable mentions in. I got Johnny Dickshot, Jack Glasscock. Those are a couple old-timey baseball players. I'm going to give you this pick here of these 2 players, Butt and Fucks. And the classic good versus bad, God Shamgod. I don't know if anybody remembers that guy, college basketball player. I want to say like 90s era. Don't think he made it in the professional ranks. And then you had, this guy was a hockey player, Miroslav Satan. I think they would pronounce it Satan. I'm not sure. And I'm going to give you a trivia question. So this is kind of like a new thing I started last time. I'll give you the trivia question now, and then the answer will be in the description of the video. So, famous linebacker, starred in The Longest Yard and Any Given Sunday. Also starred in Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Now, I'm not sure if any other corporation would like to associate themselves with this type of show that I did today, but Man of Action Figures will. That's my company. I have a couple of knickknacks up there, collectibles, action figures, toys. Also got a YouTube channel, which is Man of Action Figures, where there's like a weekly or bi-weekly show of the new figures. You can check that out and subscribe. And if you're watching this and you enjoyed it and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. That'll help out the channel. And that's it, man. I hope to come back with some some good names next time, maybe. And I might be reviewing a couple other 30 for 30s, like I think the Bruce Lee one, Be Like Water, is probably on tap next. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. All right.